Expect things to go your way, but don't expect them to look the way you think they're supposed to look. Let me tell you why. When you create contrast in your life, the moment you experience the contrast, you ask for the opposite of that to be true, for yourself to experience. If you feel sadness, you ask for happiness. If you feel short of money, you ask for more money. If you feel unlovable, you ask to be loved. If you feel powerless, you ask to have power. You're doing this all day, every day. When that contrast is experienced by you, your inner being immediately creates a non-physical version of you that feels like the guy who has the stuff you've asked for. We don't know what that stuff is now. We just know it's not feeling shitty. It's the opposite of that. We don't know how much money it is. We just know I've been asking for a while every time I've experienced the contrast of money. So I don't know how much money I've asked for. I don't know how much love I've asked for. I don't know how much joy I've asked for, but I'm going to say it's more than enough for me to handle myself in 4 or 5 lifetimes, at least. Okay? Let's be conservative. It's really more like 30 lifetimes, but we'll just go with 4 or 5. And so now you've been asking for these things and asking for these things and asking for these things. You don't want to have any specifics on how they're going to turn out. And the reason why is because your inner being, when it creates what you have asked for, the worst scenario, the lowest scenario, is the one that you wanted. That's where your inner being starts. That's the worst manifestation, is the one that you think it should be. And so you don't want to restrict your inner being from giving you all this stuff, because you're like, oh my God, that's what I wanted, was a con. Oh my God, they booked me for a gig. I make $1,000 a weekend, and I'm booked every weekend now. I'm making $4,000 a month now just on DJing for 2 hours a night or something, right? And then you get something like that going on, and you're like, oh my God, that's all I wanted. And you're gonna be like, oh, okay, but I had a girl for you. I had the car over here. I had an expense account. Like, okay, if you just want that, no problem. Do you see? It's going to give you so much more. That's why you get out of the way. So everything is working out for you, whether you like that or not. It is. This isn't some trick of the mind. This isn't some like, okay, okay. Old dogs can learn new tricks. Old dogs can learn new tricks. It's not that. It's literally the way it works. That your inner being is always going to give you more than you could dream and imagine for. It's so much bigger and so much more vast and so much free with the stuff. There's no lack and there's no shortage and there's no not enoughness in this arena. We're talking unbridled, unadulterated. What do you want? It's yours. In fact, when you ask for it, I'll become the version of you that has it immediately, emotionally. I'm telling you, as someone who loves you unconditionally, all you need to do is start feeling like the version of yourself that has that experience. And nothing else can happen. There isn't anything else that's possible when you start to feel like that. The only reason it's not being experienced now is because there's a gap between when you ask for it and when it arrives. And how do you measure that gap? By the degree to which you're feeling better. You don't do it in time. You don't do it in space. You don't do it in effort. You do it in feeling. You do it in feeling. One thought, one emotion. One thought, one emotion. Now, why is this so important to understand as a framework? Because now when you go out in your life, you've got a choice. What's so beautiful about this work is no one, nowhere, no how is ever telling anybody what they should or shouldn't do, because nobody in this work knows what you're supposed to do better than you. So we say Taryn is the most qualified to choose for Taryn. End of discussion. No one knows, no one is nearly remotely qualified as Taryn to choose these things. In fact, we want him making the choice. He's the only one qualified. And besides that, I got my hands full myself. So whatever condition you find yourself in, I want to let you know from my own experience and from well over 1,000 people that I've worked with this lifetime. It's a crummy feeling to not feel good. When you don't feel good, you got one real problem, and it kind of tarnishes or it clouds or it kind of it kind of invades and kind of dampens and kind of ruins everything that you're experiencing in life. You can't create new concepts and new stuff from there. Life is just kind of a bummer. And it's not a conversation that you really have a bunch of outlets to speak about. It's just you feel crummy, and then you spend time trying to just kind of hold on to your crumminess. The problem with that is you can't ever handle the crumminess by doing something different and more. The only way you're going to handle the crumminess is by discovering what the source of the crumminess is and then how to handle it. That's why I'm inviting you to join the Skool community, because in the Skool community, you're going to get a course full of modules where you're going to see me talking about these specific component parts of the law of manifestation, law of attraction, law of creation, whatever you want to call it. You're going to watch those videos. You're going to understand that this course is encapsulated in such a way that you can fully have an experience of yourself knowing what to do now. You can also download a free copy of my book, Think It, Feel It, Have It, The Keys to Creation. Just a quick blurb about that book. In there, I talk about the magnetic force, the magnetic field of the heart, the electromagnetic field of the heart, 5,000 times more powerful than the electromagnetic field of the mind. That's going to start to tell you something about how we're going from here to down into here. Also, over the last 15, 20 years, I've gathered what are the sources and the main causes of the resistance that we create for ourselves. I'm going to give you that as well. So you also, as you move and you start doing this work, you start to realize, if I don't keep in this conversation or stay with this work, I start to sink back into these old ways of being, or old thought patterns, or old conditioning, or old programming. So what I've done is I've now incorporated a weekly phone call that keeps you in this conversation. It's not the same as going to church, but the frequency of it and the experience of it is going to be the same. And that is, you're going to gather more knowledge and you're going to release some more resistance and experience more relief. And lastly, this is a whole community. I think right now there's a couple hundred people in the Skool community. This is a whole community of like-minded people, people like you. You can start to interact with people in the group and start to find out more as you're moving along. And lastly, if this is something that's resonating for you and you're ready to really keep going and really take this on in a real concerted, directed, focused manner, there's programs where you and me can work together one-on-one. So let's get moving. Like, no kidding. Let's start moving in the direction that you want to and have you start feeling better and start experiencing things that you want to experience in your life. Book a one-on-one call with me. And in that call, I'm going to lay this out for you really, really clear, in such a way that at the end of the call, you're going to understand that there is a way that you can go about getting yourself to be able to intentionally create things for yourself and for your life, and that how you've been doing it isn't this way. And I'm going to give you that on this phone call. Whether you choose to work with me further, that's a completely different conversation. And if that's something that comes up for you, we'll work that out at the time. But right now, let's just get in touch and let's let you see just how this actually works, which I'm telling you, you're going to find is different than how you've been holding it. And I'm really looking forward to connecting with you and talking with you.